last episode, we talked about how to enroll your child at Almasi School. My name is Sophia Musyoka. I am the founder and director at Almasi School. And we look forward to interacting with you in this session. We hope that you will make the decision to enroll your children with us at Almasi School. So today I want to talk about a little bit more about how the Ignitia and Accelerated Christian Education program prepare your children for a life of success and high achievement at tertiary education level. I will recount where we begin just a little bit. We say that when your child comes, we begin from the place of diagnosis. Now that's an excellent way of, it's a great way of beginning this journey, because then we begin to ask ourselves, what has been the impact of education for your children so far? By the way, before I go there, let me say that our enrollment begins at age 3, 4. That is what we call the school readiness stage, where we are basically managing transition of the child from their primary environment, which is the home, to what becomes their secondary environment, which is school, before they step out into adulthood. So 3 and 4 we place by age. 5 preschool begins, again that we place by age. Grade 1 is 6 years, and that we place by age. So if your child comes and they are 3, 4, 5 or 6 years, we will place them by age in their respective centers of learning. Now, if your child already has done grade 1 of the school, then we will take them through a diagnostic test. We will confirm what they know. We will confirm what learning gaps are. And I told you in our last video that a learning gap is a concept that your child either has not been previously introduced to or they have not mastered. And so we begin by fixing the learning gaps so that children are now able to move with ease, through the rest of their time. So today I want to talk about how does the way that AC and Ignitia is fashioned, the way that it's crafted, the way the curriculum has been put together, how does it prepare your child for higher education? Now, I want to say that one of the other things that I do is that I lecture at the university, and I teach, of course, the people who are considered to be the cream of society. I teach at the African International University. I teach teachers. I teach the people who are supposed to, come into us as schools and become the workforce. And it's been quite an experience, just looking at really how our system does not prepare our children for tertiary education. Let me begin by academic writing. You see, by the time you are going into, university, in terms of phases of education, really at university, we're calling that further training. The assumption is that the foundation has been laid in former years before you come to university. So basically, the assumption is that in terms of your writing, how do you express yourself in writing, in terms of research, in terms of self-learning, in terms of just driving, picking up the pace and going forth, taking charge of your learning process as a young adult. Now, I have found that very, very wanting. Of course, I teach young adults, most of them in their early 20s. There are those that are older adults, and it has been quite a wake-up call for me to just see the output of our education system. So we have learners who are not motivated to study. So they're always asking for, your lecture notes. They're always asking, where are you going to bring the exam from? Now, when you do ask them to write papers, academic papers, term papers, assignments, I tell you, the English, the grammar, the style, when I started teaching, I can tell you that the first unit that I taught at the university, my class was almost a mass failure, because I was marking the grammar, I was marking the sentence structure, I was marking this academic writing, principles of academic writing. We have various things, in terms of most universities will say, your paper must conform to the APA style of academic writing, or Chicago, or there are various styles of writing, academic writing. And even just simple things like, how do you construct your paragraph? How do you come up with an outline, that says this is what this paper is about? I tell you, those students are clueless. And yet those are things that you're supposed to learn in high school about writing, constructing a sentence, determining what is the topic sentence, what are the supporting sentences. Very simple fundamentals of writing. Those students are clueless. And so when I was marking those things, because my expectation was that at that level is a level where we would be playing, there was mass failure. So second semester, I decided, let me not mark the English, let me not mark the grammar, let me not mark the academic writing. Let me just try and see if these people are making sense. Do they understand? So it improved performance a little bit. But I was really heartbroken as an educator, because I felt that by the time people have gone to campus, we say it's like they have finished school. They have come to the end of a cycle. And honestly, I can only say that those graduates are half-baked. Let me leave the conversation about, the preparedness for high school. Let me talk about as an employer. So you've gone through university, you have finished your work, and you're now seeking employment. And I talked to a lot of entrepreneurs and business leaders who say that the people who are coming out of the universities and who are looking for employment, what their papers say they have accomplished vis-a-vis what their actual skills are, there is a big, big diversity. And so we're turning out a workforce that has papers, but is not qualified for the job in very, very many ways. And I will tell that story later. But let me come back to, how does ACE prepare your child, ACE Ignitia, how does it prepare your child at the university? And I'll tell you that I follow up my graduates, my Almasi School alumni into university. And one thing has stood out. Academic writing is nothing to them. It's a walk in the park, because by the time they've gone through a high school, they have written, they have done research, graduate level research, graduate level, writing, academic writing. They know what it means to write a paper, to cite, to do research, to write a report out of your research, to, organize your paper in a certain way. They know all of those things. It's part of the requirements of their of education by the time they graduate out of high school. So that is one. The expectations and the training that our students at Almasi go through is rigorous, and they excel. In fact, in certain cases, not in certain cases, in 100% of those cases, those children actually excel. They excel, and lecturers think that somebody else is doing their work for them because of how amazing it is, because of how excellent it is, and how how it stands out as compared to the rest of the pack. And we've had a few ACE graduates that have gone into our local universities, and I think now it is known that their writing skills, academic writing skills, are at another level. And my daughter, I told you that she is. I told you that my daughter is at the university. That having graduated out of Almasi, and immediately she landed. First of all, she said, Mom, anytime they were given an assignment, she said, I want to compile the paper because I've seen what other people write, and I don't want a badly written paper with my name on it. So she always picks up the compilation responsibility for academic papers. She does the research, she cleans it up, and for sure, she puts forth a good work. She is confident in that way. Number two, just the rigor and the personal responsibility that they take, for their learning is something that is actually inculcated. And how is it inculcated? I'll touch on this one thing that is inculcated in our students, and then in our next episode, I'll talk about others. One of the things that children in ACE or in Almasi are required to do every single school day of their lives is to set their goals for the day. So you will not find a teacher, blackboard. No, the children have their goals for the day, a certain number of pages that they must finish every day in specific subjects, and they have to, plan their work. So every morning they come to work, they work backward. We begin with projecting for the term. They must finish in good time, before they move to the next. So in a sense, one of the greatest preparations that I would say that ACE does to set up our children for a successful life, at the university, is just that sense of taking personal responsibility for your learning, because at the university, really, you are on your own. You are at liberty. You may attend the lectures or not. Nobody is going to ask you. You may submit an assignment or not. You may write or not. The options become very, very many in a sense. And so just that sense of taking personal responsibility, being able to cope with university graduate level writing, ACE Ignitia does an excellent job of preparing our students, and that has a lot, to do with. It has a great impact in terms of just encouraging our students to excel. Of course, the more you excel, the better it is for you in terms of motivation, and I'll also say that the better it is for you in terms of just, your sense of well-being emotionally and all of that. So this is Sophia. I have a lot to say. See you at the next episode, where we continue to talk about how ACE Ignitia prepare our students for higher level education at university. Thank you for listening. Check us out at www.almasischool.org and call us at 0713 675 228. Let the conversation begin. Let the journey towards your child's academic success begin now.